We live. How y'all doing today? My name is Sean Ogentosin. We are live and well. Let's get this thing going. I feel like switching a song today. What's good? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
To the start of a brilliant future. Ready to turn it on? Here's your power source. It's called the digital currency market. That's right, cryptocurrency. A truly global form of payment that people everywhere are starting to use for everyday purchases. You've heard of Bitcoin. This currency happens to be the highest performing asset class of the decade, trading in a market that's open 24/7, 365 worldwide. It's one of the fastest growing, most disruptive industries on the planet. Here's how you plug into that power source. It's called DCX, home of master educators and expert mentors, where you'll find the strategies needed to master the markets and learn how to take profit. We've put the digital currency market at your fingertips. With DCX, you'll have full access to real-time market ideas, educational videos, live session with mentors, and powerful strategies from industry masters. You can learn from the best at your own pace. Want new market ideas sent straight to your phone? Done. Want automated algorithms scanning the market for potential setups? We've got you covered. These strategies can help you never miss an opportunity to grow your account. So which engine are you going to power up first? DCX Harmonics is an exclusive dive into the secrets of harmonic patterns in the digital currency market. Our expert strategies will help you identify potential reversals in the market, giving you powerful insight and analysis for opportunities to earn. DCX Litecoin gives you the best of both worlds, with swing market ideas from our master educators and automated scalping strategies that teach you to identify potential breakouts in the market in lower time frames. Now imagine all that in real-time updates through direct chats with expert DCX master educators. You could even fire up one of the brand new crypto games in Litecoin. Want more? DCX is switching on exclusive access to the new DCX Go Live educator, Jason Brown, a Chairman 750 of the I Am Master Academy. He's here to teach the awesome power of crypto like no one else can. What are you waiting for? This could be your future. Right. With DCX, the power to learn and earn cryptocurrency can be in your hands.
All the hours, all the time you spent. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Tell me,
What do you want your future to be? Welcome to Coin Scalper, and we out. All right, what's good, everybody? Hope you have had a phenomenal weekend. Happy New Year! Let's just say it's always a privilege to be on this platform. All right, so hope you have had a phenomenal New Year. Welcome to 2023. So as you may know, or you may have heard, that I may change up a couple of things. So today's going to be truthfully a 100% beginner session. I'm going to make sure that some of these things, I'm going to leave it where you have access to this from here on out. So I'm going to change a couple of things on this zone, and we're going to go through the form 100%. Today is open for questions. We're going to look at the next break and close for BTC, break and close for, not ETH. That'll be tomorrow. We'll do both tomorrow. Today is going to be a slow session. I'm going to do some revisions throughout this call. I'm going to look at a couple of things, but today should be a pretty smooth call that if you ever get confused oops, can you just go back? Yeah. So, that was close. All right, now let me see what we got here. All right, so as you can see, this is basically step by step by step. Let me drop DCX in the chat if you're excited for this call. Today's gonna be basically, we're gonna go over everything and everything and anything when it comes to Swipe Coin Scalper for BTC. This is basically gonna be the revision for this year. So this should be the updated way of finding the best zones. And we're gonna go through everything and now. So right now it is 4:12 p.m. right now. So no matter what your first thing you should really do is always check the time. We operate off a 15-minute time frame. Everything we do is operate off a 15-minute time frame. So look at it as a 15-minute heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. But once it hits 4:15, that restarts, and that's what we call a close, right? When it's 4 o'clock to 4:15, which is happening now, that's what we call an open. It closes when that time stops and goes back again. Time doesn't stop. Well, I do a lot of psychology stuff on the side, so I don't want to get into that. But let's just say, technically, time is always moving, right? Therefore, 4 o'clock to 4:15, that is what we call an open. That's what's currently happening, right? A close is what's important to us. We operate off those closes. That's very important, right? Cool. We know that. Now that you check your time, you see this time is ticking, right? It basically tells you where's the next close. Again, what do we operate off of? What? Closes. Why do you not want to get in? Because there's a thing called fake out. The market knows what new traders do. The market knows people can't wait. The market, there's a thing called trading psychology, right? If we were to pull up the definition of trading psychology, definition of it, refers to the emotions and mental state that help dictate success or failure in trading securities. Trading psychology represents various aspects of an individual's character and behaviors that influence their trading actions. So simple errors, simple things that's what I'm saying when I'm saying trading psychology, right? So this is going to be my overall 2023. I'm going to put this in my favorites. I already see it break and close ready, but we'll operate on that. Cool. Now we talked about time zones. We talked about all of these things, right? This is overall the picture right here. We usually create a resistance zone, a support zone. So I'm about to soon do step 3, but we're still on step 1 and step 2. So if you wonder, this is the resistance zone, support zone. You want to create something similar to this. What this is important. This is your end result. It's here. Cool. Now we have talked about that. If you have any questions, drop that in the chat. Let me know. Hello. All right, cool. So that moving forward, I'm gonna bring this thing here called a form. So basically, it is basically set up for you to create a buy and a sell, 2 separate trades. We operate off leverage trading, but this is just a form. All you have to do is find the resistance zone, and you just add in plus 100, and now that will be your break and close resistance zone alert. That's all you have to do is one thing, and then you just bring it down. You bring the answer right here, right? Actually, no. It should be switched. It looks a little bit. So you bring this, it goes right there. You ask your potential BTC buy. Cool. This is 2 separate things. This is not your SL. It's 2 separate things, right? Cool. All right. Why is it saying I'm sharing a URL? Okay. Don't know what that means. Cool. Just copy it. I don't know. All right, bet. So now that we have this, set up, right? So we're gonna move candlesticks. We're gonna move candlesticks to a line chart. Where is this blue line? This blue line is above our orange line, so that makes it a buy. So that means resistance zone first. So we're going to now look at the resistance zone. That's gonna be important, right? We're gonna do the resistance zone first. The support zone. You would do that if the blue line's underneath. Potentially, I mean, honestly, I recommend do both. It doesn't hurt you. Do both. All right, cool. So that basically does step 2. Step 2 is locating where this blue line is. This orange line, if this is your first time, the more you realize, especially if you come on my Tuesday and Thursday calls, which should be for you too, you're gonna realize this orange line is gonna be very important for you. This orange line could honestly be used as a target goal if you do a thing called reversals. But that's just something to write. We're not talking about that today. Now, what we're going to talk about in step 3 is a thing called TPS, touch point structure, right? Touch point system, touch point structure. Basically, this helps you locate the best resistance for you. So if you're struggling finding that resistance zone, this should help you locate that. So how you would do that, it's similar to what you see in this picture. When you go right here, let's just say this wasn't existing and you were looking for a resistance zone for a break and close that's maybe approaching, which already has happened, right? Right here. You account, like, I look at resistance like a multi-level apartment complex. Structure equals resistance support, right? Structure equals resistance support. So when I look at resistance zone or support zone, I look at that as a multi-level complex, right? Multi-level. So you're looking at like let's say there's 5 floors in an apartment complex, right? So the person in the 3rd floor, their support is what their feet is touching on. They look up, it's their roof. But if you go on the 4th floor, you go up these stairs, their roof is actually the person above them's floor. So how you find resistance supports, you got to also understand that it's interchangeable. It's just wherever this blue line is located. But what we're looking for is the current roof and current floor, right? When you're doing any one that's away from this, you're looking at the further ones for the current market. Makes sense. If that makes sense, let me get some 5s in the chat. Hello. I mean, I'm thinking I'm explaining it easier than I've ever explained it in my life on any of my calls. So you have to understand that's very basic stuff. When you are counting them, you want to count 1, 2. You count how many times does it stop? Whether it stops going up, whether it stops going down, how many times does it stop? So when you look here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you are counting this, let's say you're not. 1, 2, 3. Let's say you counted support. 1, 2. Yes, this is not just 1 in total. It's 2. Why? Because it's pointing, stops, comes back up. Well, it's going this way. Comes down, 1, comes up a little bit, stops again. So that's 2, right? You see there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. You're counting how many times does it stop at a particular area. That's very important in helping yourself locate the best ones. So now, what makes it, now that you have a chart and we operate off a 15-minute frame, you're going to look for the 1 or 2 days you want it to stop at whatever this dotted line you have, you want it to stop 3 to 5 times. Granted, you're going to see some examples where price sometimes breaks through. Price is blue line. But you want majority. So you don't have to be super, super peaky and be like, okay, it has to be right here. But as you can see, if you come down, this is a perfect example of resistance. Sometimes you can cut in between this if it makes sense. And now, right here, 16,769 is the resistance zone. Right here. Hello! You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. In how many days? Today's only 1 day, right? January 2nd. 1 day. 1 day? That means it blows through this right here. This is your resistance zone. Granted, what's price here? 16,732. Now, this gets into the next step in getting into the talks of our resistance zones. So you located a resistance zone, right? It's way too close to the orange line. So now that you probably like, oh gosh, I found one, Sean. It's too close. There's ways you don't have to always, look at it and be like, dang, but it is just too close. If you actually bring it in here, it's not as far as you think it is. If you expand your charts like this, you're always going to think something's a lot closer than what it is. It's not. It's like 40 pips. That's nothing on BTC chart. On a BTC chart, you really want, give or take, almost 200. Sometimes you may get 150. So this is a resistance zone, but in a case for us, this is too close to this orange line. You want it to be at least plus 200. More than likely, it could be a little bit under that. It could be 150, but you at least don't want it to be like less than 100 pips. The reason for that, spacing out your resistance supports, is so when you're doing your SLs and TPs, they're going to be really close. Really, your SLs is what I'm getting at. All right, cool. So now that we've found that, it's just too close to this orange line. If you have any questions, drop it. This is super helpful. I love it. So now I just broke down how to find resistance, but we got to go to a part 2. So I will say this, there is many fish in the sea. Like, guys, there's many fish in the sea. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't want you to think, well, Sean, like, I'm looking for a resistance zone. I found one, but that's not the right one. Oh my God, this is not, how do you have the eye? Okay, now that you at least can find resistance zones, now the next step is finding the one that works for you, as in the one that works for the chart. Just because you think it is, I'm trying to get you to be above all the other traders that operate charts that fell because of lack of trading psychology. I want you to avoid simple mistakes, right? The quickest way is separating your resistance and support zone to be a good distance. That's just not good enough. I just don't care. It's too close. It's way too close. Your SL, and you don't know how to calculate SLs if you don't know yet, would be right here. Your SL will be here if you're doing minus 300. Or let's say you even do the plus 100. Let's say you do that. Your SL will be still here, roughly around here. If I'm not mistaken, that looks like a sell. Right? You probably say, if you see blue line here, you're like, did it drop? It looks like it's selling. Right? You don't want that. So that's why I'm talking about create separation. It looks good right here. It looks good. I found one. It looks sexy, but it won't look good when you're setting up your SL. And you're going to be very discouraged. So I'm trying to not have you do all that. Then you look back and you're like, doesn't look good. So you're going to have to squeeze this in, and you're going to be looking for 3+ days. So squeeze it in 3+ days. So you're going to need to find something that really makes sense. I mean, wow, this is a very good resistance zone. Maybe it may be useful for when price is a little bit lower, higher, and we're anticipating this zone. But I mean, it's already hit it, and 50 EMA has already caught up. So there's no point to use it. You're gonna get faked out tremendously. It's a very good zone. I mean, gosh, like look how good this zone is. I mean, even long term, it's beautiful. But you can't fall in love with just finding a zone. You got to find the right one for you. So we're gonna go up. And so, granted, what you could do for a big, I mean, I could do it. It just takes a lot longer. If you really don't, like, you don't feel like, let's say I'm doing it and you're like, oh, Sean, looks like a lot. Okay, cool. Then what I would recommend, go up, then do it step by, like, not step by step, but do it in increments where you only see small if you're getting overwhelmed. Personally, the more you trust your eyes, the more you can actually go further, and you can basically see multiple stuff stopping at the same time. It's about trusting your eyes and believing. So you're gonna actually see me trust my eyes, because I'm not about to do that. I mean, this is the 2023 overview, but I mean, like, come on. Like, come on. It would honestly take another 15 minutes if I do all that. So let's just, and this is one. We're going to go acting like we're going to the next level. So when you're doing this, to make it, and this is how you can see it further, right? You need to look at the chart from right to left. So as you see this, I'm slowly going up. And I'm looking at the chart right to left. Are they stopping? I'm looking at price right here. Like you see, stops here, stops here. I'm looking at, where is it stopping? Stops here, stops here, stop. You know, that's what I'm looking at. Okay? So honestly, this is at 16,736. You really want 200. So if you already want to push forward, you could. So you're like, I'm not going to get into 7, so I don't care. You could honestly do that. It's a cheat way, but I wouldn't go past 150 doing that. You know what I mean? So if you want to take notes on that part, if you're honestly just going to count 200 pips and say, Sean, I'm going to look at right at 16,930 and more. If that's what you want to do, cool. But sometimes it's not always exactly at 200. It may be a little less. So if you want to just zoom in, zoom by, you can do 150 pips, then really start looking from there to past 200 pips. I mean, I don't want to, those are very detailed things, but depending on how, like, your expertise, let's say you on this call and you're not a beginner, but you want to get better. I would recommend, and again, this is not for beginners. because I don't want to get you into doing that and you get confused with ETH. ETH, like, I'm not even going to get into that today since it's BTC. I would recommend do 150 pips for my people that are not beginners. And then from there, I mean, like me, I already know. Okay, I'm going to look at 880. Then from there, I'm going to start seeing what's the best one that makes sense for the zone, right? I'm really looking for 200 and more. If you're a beginner, honestly, do it the way I'm about to say it, because there's a lot. I want you to get better at seeing them, but you can't just do the closest ones because you found a resistance, right? So now we're gonna go up. We should be in the eights. So 846, right? So okay, first off, if you stop right here, there's a structure. Price stops twice here. You got one right here. You got these two right here. Maybe even that may looks like it's two because it doesn't look like one line. Do you see how I'm trusting my eyes? You see how it stops here? Are y'all seeing how I'm viewing them? You see how it stops here, breaks through a little bit. You see how it stops here? Do you see how I can see it from a mile away? Stops here. And guys, this is what I mean, look right to left. So when I'm looking right to left, I see it on my dotted line, right? Even up here, maybe around the 16,850. That may even be something. That puts us around 120 pips. You know, if that's what you feel like doing, cool. We could see if there's something a little bit better. That's 16,850. As far as it looks, it's not as far as y'all think. Let's just say that. Cool. All right. Let's see if there's any higher. You know what? I'm going to do this one and basically capture almost majority of this chart. So I'm going to do something around the 16,890, maybe even a little bit under, around 16,000, yeah, 890. You can do 16,885. So I go to here, trend line tools, and I do a horizontal line. Like this. I capture most of this. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add this and go into question mark. And I'm going to do 16,885 and plus 100. Well, I mean, simple math. You can put that in your calculator. 16,985. So what does this say on the next line? Potential BTC buy idea. Break and close resistance zone alert. If it closes past this number, that's your buy. So I'm not just giving you a zone. I'm helping you find your break and close number. Do we get a ding, ding, ding in your mind? So do you see what I'm really trying to do? I'm not just trying to help you set up zones to set up zones. I want you to find what is a good break and close number. Because if I show you this picture, you're still going to wonder, so what does it really look like? Does it exactly look like the picture? You're guessing. And especially the less of a trader you are, you really don't know. You don't. I mean, I don't care. You don't know. You really don't know. You don't have the feel. And even if you have the feel, if you're not doing well with it, you're second guessing yourself. So now 16,985 is a potential BTC buy idea. That's now done, right? We can do the support. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. What's the max for a SL? Oh, whoa. Not 100. No. Hold on. No, I haven't even talked about SL yet, so let's not rush it. Today's the 2023 overview, right? You know what I mean? Today is the 2023 overview. So with that said, everything we do is going to be exactly. We are not on SL yet. Do not jump the gun. This has nothing to do with SL. So we still on resistance zone. Now we have that. We are going to look at a TP. I'm not going to talk about SL because I'd rather you find the TPs first. Because there's no point in finding your SL first if you're not even about to get in. Right? You might as well mark up because the only thing you have next to do besides your support, if you're doing it, is marking up your TP. Your SL is given. Your SL, you will know your SL as soon as you get in. It is better to mark up your TP. There's no reason you should be thinking about your SL. Why? Why are you thinking about your SL first? This is not going to you that asked that, but this is, I really want to challenge y'all. I'm a very big advocate. Trust me, all my friends know Sean thinks about the worst and he has solutions for the worst. So that's just me in general. It has nothing to do with even trading. So it's probably why when I do my sessions, when I do my sessions on this call, like I'm always preparing y'all for the worst and I'm giving you a solution to the worst. That's just how I operate. That's how I think. But you can't operate off thinking of, oh, I need to worry about my SL first. You don't want to hit SL. As a scalper, your SL is the last thing on your mind. To be honest, and I don't want to say it on an overview call. To be honest, as a scalper, you're looking to win. You're looking to win the whole time, and most of the times we have a good amount that if we lose, we're like, okay, it is what it is. Let's exit. But you are not looking at SLs. That should be the last thing on your mind. And when I mean last, I mean when you're in, then you start thinking about your SL, right? Just a little FYI. So when you're on the scalper, swipe coin scalper, you are what? Looking to what? Win. WIN 2023. We are winning 2023. There's that, I'm not giving you any, that's not me propelling X amount of results, but I'm telling you, you got to be a winner. You want to be a winner. So when you're on these charts, marking up a resistance support, mark up a TP. And you're going to see what I say for SLs after I do the TP. So now, how do I find them? Cool. You start from here, and at this point, this is when you can start doing the exact calculating of whatever. So TPs are the eye of the beholder. So I just taught you how to even find a zone. I even taught you how to find one. Told you it wasn't good enough. You need to create distance, which I say relatively 200 pips. You're not always going to be the exact amount. So that's why, if it's a little close, cool, it is what it is. It is what it is. So now we have that TP. TP is the eye of the beholder. Some people may want 250 pips. Some people may want 300. Some people may want more. I personally, on BTC, would want you to look for something roughly around 300. Granted, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So 16,985. That puts you at 17,285, right? Which is technically roughly around here. So you could zoom up and then you could do it like that. It's kind of what I was saying you could do with that separation between the 50 EMA, the orange line, and your resistance zone. You can cheat it that way if you want to. I'm not tripping. It's up to you. So when we get up to here, that's 16,275. That's almost 300 pips. I don't blame you for calling this a TP. I don't blame you. If you want to do that, cool. You know what I mean? That's almost 300 pips. It is what it is, right? Okay, this is what I also recommend. If you do yours a little too close to it, make sure you have an alternate one for just in case. So I may do a second one that could be my first, could be my last. Could be my first, or I may not use it. This is what I would recommend. This is 2023 overview. Welcome. I would recommend using this as an alternate TP1. Why do you think I'm saying this? And remember what I said earlier. I'm a very big person of, I prepare for the worst. I'm hoping for the best. I have solutions for the worst. I'm not saying if you get in, that's the worst. But so let's just say you don't get in on 16,985. You get in on your scalper, not your scalper, but whatever you get on puts you at 17,100. You look at your TP that you about to write, and you're like, whoa, that's really close. That's like 181 pips. That's too close for me. Then you like, oh, I did make an alternate one that if this is too close, I'll use this instead. That is what I would recommend. So if you ever do a TP that's exactly 300 or under, you need to find an alternate one that's pretty close. I don't want to give you the exact number away. Maybe 100 pips, maybe 150, but I mean, I don't like giving all these numbers. I don't want you to fall in love with these numbers. It's just like, after a while, you can get a feel. This is a good feel. I would recommend making an alternate TP. Easy peasy. Now, you can create some distance between these, and a TP2. Let's just say we're using this. Yeah, we can do this, right? 17,743. We could even do this one right here. We could even break these down by 200 pips if we wanted to. If we wanted to. We don't have to, right? Okay, just like that. So these can be alternates, and these will be my TP2, TP3, TP4, TP5. Right? These are alternates. If this is making sense, let me get some fives. Right? Now that if this is making sense, let me get some fives. So we can go back to here. We already did all of that. So we've done a majority of the work, and now we're basically already finished the buy. But Sean, you said, where's the SLs? Now that we're on that, let's go here. So let's just say you got in, and I like to give you real examples so you actually know. Let's say you got in at 17,050, like when you officially get in. You technically are supposed to do minus 300, but I'll tell you this. This orange line flips. This is where we go back to that 50 EMA. If you look at step 2 and stare at it and say it 100 times, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. If the blue line's above the orange line, that makes it still a buy. If the blue line is underneath the orange line, that makes it a sell. Say that about 20 times in the mirror. Or say it 20 times by yourself. You don't have to say it now, but say it, then think about what would I make your SL to be? What would your SL, what would you think I would tell your SL to be? If you say that many times, it's gonna be like, I see why he always talks about this orange line being a good SL. It doesn't have to be exactly here if it's too far. I don't want to, again, fall in love with the exacts. But I do want you to understand that if I'm in right here, I look down, yeah, I'm going to probably look at an SL roughly around this neighborhood. If I get to here and it's not even 300 pips and I could do a little bit more, I would do it underneath here. Why do you think I would? Guys, if you look on this 50 EMA, like, look how it's stopping right here. Because the minute it flips over, it stops from being a buy to a sell. Look at when it breaks through. Look how the scalper puts the red marks. You see? See how it breaks up? See how it's up? The scalper is blue. Right here, it says once it broke through, right? I need to understand that it works in your favor when you do SLs. Because the minute it breaks through here, it's not a buy anymore. For right now. Do you see it? So my SLs would be probably in this area. If I'm a little bit up, probably above this area. But regardless, when it does a buy, your SL will be below your resistance zone. Usually around here. Cool. Just like that. Now that we have the buy, we're going to go into the sell. All right. The breaking close is the breaking close. Yes, I like that. Is the approximate entry point? Beautiful. Yes. but it's the anticipated. So I don't want you to fall in love because remember, we operate off break and close, right? So if it's 16,985 and there's 5 minutes ticking, is that a close? No, right? Because remember what we talked about, we operate off 15-minute heartbeats. So as soon as it breaks through this number, since it's going upward, once that time is done ticking, so like let's say it broke through and it's like going to 15, then it goes all the way to 0, right? And it's above this number. That is what we call the break and close. So it is the approximate entry point, but it's not necessarily the entry point because it's still got to wait on a close. You get what I mean? That close is like literally the biggest part of the whole thing. So I do want you to know that. So you see how time ticked, then it never passed through here, right? So we really have, and I could talk more about it. This is what we call an indecision. When the blue line is on the orange line, it's in the middle. So it's an indecision. There's nothing happening right now. So, I mean, the market is actually not a buy or sell. I mean, this is a good teaching time to talk about it, but there's nothing exactly happening. So I'm sorry if I can't give you the exact action, but this is a perfect call to teach. You see how the market reset with the new timer, right? This is what I was talking about. You want to wait for those break and close. So once it breaks through this number and it closes above, as mean the time stopped ticking, that's what we call a buy. Hello, talk to me. All right, makes sense. Prices swipe coin. Okay, I like that. So if that's the case, as a chart speaking, you can also use TradingView and try to match up so this is TradingView. So let's start over and go on TradingView. So TradingView is where I use my alerts for. Oh, my bad. So TradingView, I use my alerts for here. You could literally do this. I mean, some people have different places for alerts. How you do that is click products and you click chart. So in the way you want to add these is, let's say I go on BTC, USD, and let's say you see how there's so many. Well, make sure it's BTC USD. I already have multiple, so let's say I just do Bitstamp. Let's say I add Bitstamp, right? Bitstamp. So what I'm gonna do, I would recommend add multiple, but I already have one. I already have the ones I'm looking for. I'll say add multiple, but I would check the price between here, 16,727, and see, okay, it's at 16,709. So I'll check here, 16,727. So which one is that? This one. So I would use this one majority of the time. Honestly, is it? Oh yeah, this is the one I use. Yeah, I put the top three. I think I need to change my ETH, but it's not the point. You see how this one is really close to the scalper? Do you see that? That's how I do it. I would add it and then I would check. I'm not trying to tell you to pick a broker, but I'm just telling you that's the best way to kind of start having them close. As for your exchange, as for like where you actually trading on, I mean, it's just an estimate. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's still an estimate. It's not a break super do or die. But at the same time, you see how these are two separate things? That's 20 pip difference. Hope that answered your question. So also, with the break and close alerts, you see I gave you alert. This is where you're going to put the alert. It literally says alert. Alert. Click on the alert. And you just click and cross it up. If it's a resistance zone. And you just put in the number of the break and close alert. It should notify you. And you get notified. How to edit your notifications. Bam, 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 bam. Within your profile, that's how you can set all that stuff up. And it will notify you to your phone. Just like that. You can play, yeah. Anyways, I don't want to. These are very simple things, right? Cool. Now let's do the support zone. I think I talked a lot. Drop some fives if I've actually broken this down really, really well. This is probably, every time I do a yearly super loaded overview, I really go in depth. I seriously go in depth. You know what I mean? On every step. So we've talked about TPs, we talked about SLs, we talked about finding resistance zones. Support zones is doing the exact same thing, but the opposite direction. So it's not nothing crazy, but the opposite direction. So now, remember separation, 16,726. You probably want something to 16,005s, but you know, we'll see. Remember, don't get fooled by how close it is. So you're gonna go down. Remember their touch points. You're looking right to left. You see something around 16,529. You see how it's basically the underbelly? Bam, 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 bam. And let's even look at this. 16,529. Yeah, probably around 530. You have this right here. These. That's like 6. You got 7, 8. You got a lot of these right here. Looks like 5 or 6. You got this right here. You got these. And it, like, even on this one, it's connecting. At 16,000, like 530, basically. Hello! We found another one. 16,530. Bam. Just like that. So, that's majority of the resistance support. As you can see, we captured majority of this particular long consolidation we've been having for almost 14 weeks. 14 days. Maybe even longer than that. Maybe longer than that. But anyways, now we're going to calculate and put this here. 16,529. You're going to fill this out. Minus 100. You could put 530, honestly. Minus 100, 16,430, bam. This, you want to make sure between these two, it's at least 1 in 400 pips separation. Because these two will make sure that your SL won't flow in your cell. So if I'm getting in right here, right, my SL, let's say it's minus 300 pips, puts me where? Right here. It doesn't put you below your cell. Hello! That's how you avoid those. You get what I mean? If you would have got in right here, maybe you say, Sean, I like this resistance zone better. Cool. Where's your SL? Look at your SL. You would put you literally at your SL. Or your SL would be literally where the cell is at. Right here. What you even call it break and close. So you would have negated both things if you get in early. So this is kind of why I'd say creating separation is so beneficial, because if you cheat yourself once, you cheat your entire trading process, because now your buy that you called a buy is really a sell when it pulls back. And now your potential sell you're supposed to also set up, you don't even trust it because you're being so arrogant of your buy that you called. I know so many traders that have done that in my times of ever trading or even hearing about trading. They're too arrogant to their calls. And they knew they got in too early, and even on the opposite call, they can't even call that. Because that's what we call what? Hedging. Hedging is another dimension. You got to have a bigger bank account to hedge. But that's a different conversation. All right, cool. Basically, I talked about everything and more. I don't think I've broke the chart down as easy as I have. There's not a lot of TPs for the sells. I'm going to do some and just call it a day. I'm just going to... never mind. There is some. 429. I'm going to make this a little bit faster. We're going to do 16,173. That's in the 4s. 429. That's roughly one of that. Again, this could be another opportunity that you could also set up an alternate TP. We just talked about that, right? I may be able to push this down. Let's push this down a little bit more. I can live with this. 16,110. Cool. Also, gonna look at 15,530, 70, 15,000. 15,694, and I probably could do one in between around here. And bam. Woo! We finished. How was that? 2023 BTC. Hello! Let me get some fives if you enjoyed this session. We basically went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 zones on a call. We went over everything about everything and more about resistance support, and I did that in an hour. It's not that easy to do it in an hour, but I'm happy I was able to do everything. Crossing up, I'm gonna do this, but it just broke through, so I probably would tell you to just do the crossing down. So price just broke through that yellow, well, it's gonna be yellow orange line. It just broke through it. So if you're only gonna have one active one, so I recommend, I have multiple, so I could do as many. I recommend you crossing down for 16,434. Everybody could be able to do this. Once you get an email notification, remember that's your break and close support zone alert, and it has to close below this number. So if you don't know what below means, 16,429, 16,400, that's below 16,430. Thank y'all so much. My girl Corrine has a session next. Hop on her call. I hope y'all enjoyed this session. I hope this made sense. I hope it was easy. Oh yeah, I can't do that for right now. But yeah, thank y'all so much. Hope you have a blessed day.